Whether it's in the kitchen, the sewing room, or the garden, Janice is unstoppable. Janice has a strong draw for people of all ages and all skill levels. Everyone stands to learn something new, and host Janice Engle has a way of making the intimidating look fun and easy.
Remember, it's not just about having a new outfit to wear, it's about the feeling you get. That sense of accomplishment knowing that you are the one that created it. So for fun and exciting projects that you can create with your family and friends, join me for Creating Designs. Next, we're going to be making baklava. Now, homemade goodies like this are always a great gift for the holidays. Okay, to begin with, you want to start with a box of phyllo dough, which you can get at most import food stores. And it comes with 2 packages of phyllo. So to begin with, our first package of phyllo, we want to make sure that we take and we want to butter the pan sparingly. You don't want too much butter, because if it gets too oily, it's just not as good. You want it sort of oily but dry. Okay. So then we want to lay our first layer down in the end. So then here's our next layer, and we want to butter that too. And there's several layers that you have to put down. So it is kind of a long process, kind of tedious, but it's so well worth it. The end product, oh, it is so good. And you want to make sure that you're making it for gifts, because I could sit down and eat a whole batch of this myself. So if you're on any kind of diet, it's not going to work. My mother showed me how to make this. My mother's Lebanese, and I guess this is pastry that they make a lot. But I sure love it. Okay, now that we've buttered each layer of phyllo dough, the next thing we want to do is we want to use our food processor, and we want 2 cups of walnuts, 2 cups of walnuts, 1 cup of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of rose water. Now, it's very important that you use rose water because that gives it the taste. And you can get rose water at most any import food stores. So, and then you want to grind this up until it's really fine. So here we go. Okay, that looks like it. So then we want to take our nut mixture, and we want to spread it over our phyllo dough. So this is so good. Now we've opened our second package of phyllo dough, and we're going to layer it over our nut mixture. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to butter each layer. So let's begin here with our first layer. Okay, now we've put our last layer of phyllo dough on. We buttered in between each layer, and now we want to cut it at a diagonal. So, and you want to make sure you cut it before you bake it. Okay, now we're going to make the syrup for the baklava, and you want to make it ahead of time, because once you take the baklava out of the oven, you want to pour this over, drizzle it actually over the baklava. So to begin with, we want to take 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of water, and just a couple of drops of lemon. That should be plenty. And then we want to boil this. So here we go. Okay, it's come up to a boil now. We want to turn it down to a medium heat, and we want to cook this for 15 minutes. That's done. Okay, now that our baklava is cooked and ready, we're going to drizzle over our syrup. And you want to just drizzle it. Okay, now we put our first layer of syrup on, and we want to wait a few minutes before we put the next layer of syrup, actually the end of the syrup. So we'll wait a few minutes, let it soak in, and give it our last bit of syrup. Okay, this is our last bit of syrup that we're going to use, so here we go. I'm just going to drizzle it on like this. Oh, this is so good too. I'm going to start drooling here in a minute. It's one of my favorite desserts. So good. Okay, there you have it. Our baklava is finished.